This is Tony Thompson, chilling with Boxing Beats and Rhymes.
Hank One be chilling with Boxing Beats and Rhymes. This is that Mayor Hardcore mentor on Boxing Beats and Rhymes YouTube channel. Tune in because this is the place to be, man, all the time.
I am ranked number one. One! That means I'm the best.
Yes, we have EJ Boxing Live in the building and a special guest, Mr. James Ali Bashir. How we doing?
I'm fine. And you guys, how are you doing?
Yeah, we're excited to talk to you. We're really excited to talk to you, you know? You know what I mean? Like, people love when we do videos with you. People actually, I mean, they really enjoy the dialogue, man. It's always good. It's always good. It's always good. How you doing?
Everything's going well.
All right. Peace off.
The questions. Listen, what? We're getting a bit of feedback here, but
I mean, what I do, I think it's me. Go ahead. So I'll mute myself. Go ahead.
Okay. Yes, the heavyweight division. I think it's took a turn for the better right now. I think it's looking. I think there's an era of excitement.
I think the entire sport is on the upswing now because there's a lot of things in the being planned for the future with Al Heyman coming up with television boxing again. You have the Thurman fight with Guerrero and Molina fight with Broner. You know, so those are steps, and that's free television. So those are steps in the right direction. That'll give boxing a big shot in the arm, and I'm looking forward to watching those fights.
Yes, and the WBA have been mandating guys to actually fight. They've mandated Cotto to fight Triple G. They've mandated Carthrush to fight Ward. So they're putting their foot on the gas. There's no more of this lulling about. I think
that Cotto. I think Cotto should just go down to junior middleweight and stay there. Because he's just too little. He's too little to fight Triple G. Why don't they mandate Triple G to fight Andre Ward?
Yep, you can make that argument too.
It's just not fair. Cotto has been through hell and high water, and now they're bringing a beat up little Cotto to fight a big, strong Triple G. Triple G is a very good fighter. He's a very tough fighter. He's a very mental fighter. But he still has not, in my mind, faced a person like a Marvin Hagler, like a Ray Leonard, like a Thomas Hearns, like a Humberto Duran. He hasn't faced those kind of mentalities. I ain't talking about the physical fighter. I'm talking about the mentality. Because the mentality of those fighters say that I'm here to fight and you're not going to just walk through me.
Yeah, but
these other guys are submissive in that when they come in and plan A fails, they just fall apart.
Well, there's no 160-pounders around in that caliber to face him, though, is there? I mean, for him to get his next challenge, you have to go to 168.
Why isn't Danny Jacobs and Andy Lee and these guys, why aren't they calling him out?
Because they don't want to fight him, obviously.
Oh, God, man. I mean, you go back to the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, these guys were calling each other out left and right, and they'd fight.
Well, there's this new mentality in boxing. There's this weird mentality I hear from boxers. Like, we heard that Santa Cruz and, Mares, I can't beat Rigondeaux. Fort City can't beat. I heard Billy Joe Saunders the other day says, yeah, if I had these guns, I could take Golovkin down. I said, this don't sound like a boxer. Boxers didn't used to talk like that back in the day.
No.
You know?
And it didn't matter whether you could punch or not. You got in and you even you take a guy like a Wilfred Benitez. Wilfred Benitez was not known as a big puncher, but he would fight the who's who of the division. He didn't care.
Yeah.
He'd box you, he'd get in there and use what he had. He brought what he had to the dance. You come in there, Pernell Whitaker wasn't a great big puncher, but he'd get in there with the tough guys.
Yeah.
But his sons are saying, oh, I don't want to get in there because I don't have the gun. Come on, man. Come on. That's what hurts the sport.
I'd agree. I definitely agree, man.
And even the judges and the referees, they got to be held accountable for the infractions that they're performing in these fights. You take the last fight with Bradley the last fight with Bradley, how did they come up with a draw? Bradley won that fight.
With who? Pacquiao?
No, the last fight that Bradley had was with
with Chavez, that guy. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. He won the fight, and they call the fight a draw.
Yeah.
So somebody's got to hold these people responsible, accountable for the decisions and what they do in the ring. I saw a fight on ESPN last Friday night, and you had a guy that got knocked down. The referee didn't call it a knockdown. He brushed the guy's trunks off and continued to box. But everybody and their mother saw that this guy got knocked down just now. Why didn't you call it a knockdown? Then, in the next round, he hits the guy with his whole forearm, and the referee is right there when it happened. He didn't say a word about it. Someone has got to hold these people accountable.
Yeah.
Triple G is a good fighter, and it's not his fault because nobody wants to fight him. But I don't see Danny Jacobs, Andy Lee,
Peter Quinlan.
I don't see these guys saying, look, I want to step up to the plate and fight this guy.
But here's where I differ with you with Cotto. I mean, if he's this small, little, battered light middleweight, just give up the belt then. If you don't give up the belt, then you have to go in the ring with Triple G.
Yeah. I would like to see him relinquish the belt. He's won the title. Go back down. You know.
But he's enjoying getting his mileage as a middleweight champion, so he's not giving the belt up. You know. The same with Carl Froch. He didn't want to fight this guy. Didn't want to fight DeGale. Didn't want to fight Froch. Now he's having to be mandated to fight his guys now, you know? And it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous.
Same way they're mandating Cotto to fight. The same way they're mandating Cotto to fight Triple G. They should mandate Triple G to fight Andre Ward. That's what they should do.
Well, they can't, right? But it's two different divisions, isn't it? So, because, whether we like it or not, Cotto is a middleweight. He is the middleweight champion. He's the lineal middleweight champion. So he does have an obligation why he has that belt. Like, I suppose Triple G isn't really.
But people keep saying. I keep reading in different articles that it's too soon for the Triple G Andre Ward fight. What?
I don't agree with that. He could fight him now.
It's too soon. If it's not now, then when?
Yeah, that's right.
I think that's a super fight.
I think so.
How could it be too soon? Triple G's made about 12 defenses of that WBO belt or something like that.
He should have fought Cotto already. When's Cotto even defended it? Like when it was the last year, he shouldn't be fighting. He should be actually, Triple G's the man.
If somebody was to put a gun to my head right now and say, who did Triple G defend against? I'll say Curtis Stevens.
That'd be a good fight.
And they say, well, he lost to Curtis. Curtis Stevens got stopped by Triple G.
Yeah, that's true.
You know? But I'm saying...
He gave Cotto a good fight, though.
They say, okay, I got a gun in your head. Who did he defend against? I'll say Curtis Stevens. They say, who else did he defend against? I'd get shocked because I can't remember.
Yeah, they're not memorable contenders he's fighting. They're not.
They're not memorable. They were sheep going to slaughter.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I keep bringing that up to people. I always test people. I say, who did Triple G win the title from? And no one's ever answered it. No one has ever answered it straight away.
Yeah.
And I'm on the list now.
Right. No one's right. He hasn't had no memorable fights.
Yeah.
No.
You remember when Hagler won the belt of Minter?
Yes.
You remember when these guys? You remember when James Toney beat Michael Nunn?
Yep.
You know.
Yeah.
And you remember who they won it off, and that's how it continues. But
James Toney and Nunn didn't fight.
Michael Nunn?
Yes, they did. James Toney knocked Michael Nunn out. He took.
Oh yeah. That's right. That's right. James Toney. James Toney.
James Toney. Yes. Yeah. James.
I got my Brian. Yeah, I remember the fight. That was a great fight.
Yeah,
that was a great middleweight fight.
That's right. That's what he made his name. This is what we're saying. That's what I'm saying. That
was a very great contest between two great professionals.
Yes, absolutely.
It was an up and down battle all of the way.
Yes, absolutely.
All of the way. I would like to have seen the second fight with them.
Yeah. It never happened. But this is what I'm saying. So you remember who the middleweight guys are, and then who like Hopkins Hopkins getting the belt, but you remember him fighting Roy Jones, but you don't remember who Hopkins won the belt off. But you remember him a long middleweight reign. But it's
Right.
But you gotta remember who Hopkins initially got the belt off, because Roy Jones got the belt and then vacated. But the middleweight division since Golovkin has always been in flux.
If Hopkins could make middleweight now, he would take Triple D to school.
Right now?
Yeah,
No.
he would take him to school because he would never hit Hopkins with that kind of stuff.
But
Hopkins would outpoint him. Hopkins would outpoint him. Hopkins would take him to school.
You know what? I'd love to see that, man. Hopkins saying he wants to fight him actually as well.
Oh, he said that.
Yeah, he said that's what they're talking about. I think it's him or Frotch. I think he's talking about Frotch.
No, I think he's talking about Triple G though.
Yeah, Triple G Frotch.
Hopkins would take him to school.
Wow, Mr. Bashir on the record saying that. Mark that one down, fight fans. You heard it first. Mr. Bashir said Hopkins will take Triple G to school right now.
Well,
Yeah, take him to school.
I think
I think they'd meet at 68 pounds. That would be the best thing.
yeah,
Oh,
or even a catch, like, yeah, man, like, why can't even do a catch weight, like, you know?
The reason I say catch weight in that fight because Hopkins is so old.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But if Hopkins was 40, 44, 43, I'd say that, you know, Hopkins would make the weight, and Hopkins would be. Triple G would never put a glove on Hopkins.
Wow.
He'd get beat because styles make fights, and Hopkins got that kind of style that would frustrate Triple G.
Well, you have a lot of validity to what you say, because if you look how Gabe Rosada fought Triple G, he gave him his hardest fights, and Gabe Rosada learned all of his tricks of Hopkins. You know? So if that's the blueprint, see, Triple G isn't fighting movers. People don't realize he isn't fighting no one who can give him angles. So look, I'm not saying anyone can look good, but it does enable you to look. When you're fighting stationary targets, then yes, you can look like this killer. You know?
Yeah.
But you fight someone like who can move and punch, then it's different. It's a different game. It's a different game. It's a totally different game.
Exactly.
And that's the kind of fight we need to see in it. That's the kind of. What did you think of? Let's go back a little while. Deontay Wilder. Was you? Well, I can't remember if you was a skeptic. Was you a skeptic, Mr. Bashir, or was you? What side of the fence was you on before?
I don't want to knock Deontay Wilder. I mean, look, he's got there. He knocked out 31, 32 people. You know, you got to give the man credit for consistency. You know, people say he's not fighting nobody, but hey, he got knocked down in a couple of those fights, and he got up and he won. So let's give him some respect and credit for what he did. You know, he got through Stavern. You know, he had some rocky moments in that fight. And let's just see how he does now. Let's see what he does. He's in the fire now. He's a champion. You know, he's in the fire, and let's see how he does going down the road.
Would you definitely say that he's in the party now, though? He's in the party.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Do you think
you can't dismiss the guy? I don't care if you knock out 30, 31, 32, 33 librarians. You knocked them out. You knocked out 33 of them, and that's a feat in itself. Yeah, but he knocked out 33 guys that can't fight. But listen, he knocked out 33 guys consistently.
Yep.
And most of them went before the fifth round. So hey, you gotta pay homage to that. You gotta show some respect for that, you know. And I'm one of those people that show respect.
Oh, no doubt.
They say this and that and the other about Floyd Mayweather. You gotta pay homage and respect to a guy that's been there for 18, 19 years and on top as the champion.
Yep. Yeah.
On top as the champion. So I'm made to respect that, you know. I'm made to honor that. You know, that's what I look for in a fighter. Consistency. You know. Sean Porter won the title and lost it in his first defense.
Yep.
That's what I'm talking about, consistency. So you have to give a guy like Floyd Mayweather a lot of respect and credit because he came out and stood on top 18, 19 years. He's been the champion.
You see, people talk about Floyd's skill set. I'd actually say Floyd's biggest skill set is his dedication to his trade. You know, people talk about shoulder rolling, he's this, that. I think his dedication is his biggest act. I think, you know, he's very committed to what he does, you know?
Well, I mean, he's dedicated to his craft. He's a true professional. He's the Mercedes-Benz of boxers,
Yes.
the Rolls-Royce of boxers. He's the Rolls-Royce of boxers, you know? He's dedicated to his, he talks the talk and he walks the walk, and that's what it's about in the end.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So how do you see this Pacquiao fight going?
I see. Most people have it where Floyd will dominate him and ultimately win a late round stoppage or a decision. But I don't see it like that. I think that the fight is going to be far more competitive than what people think it is. I think that the chemistries between the two of them matches up pretty good. And I see this fight being a decision or a split decision.
Going what way?
You know, I think Pacquiao is going to bring more to the table than what people expect him to bring to the table. Not saying that he's going to beat Floyd up, but I think he's going to make the fight a little more complicated than what most people think it is. Both of them will be highly trained and very efficient in their training and bring in their best tactics to the fight, even though the fight, in my opinion, is 5 years past due. At least 5 years past due. Overdue. But I think that both of them will put their best effort forward and make it a great fight. And I think that Pacquiao belongs in this fight. I think that he is in this fight. I think Floyd will probably win it in the end. But I think it's going to be a lot tougher, a lot closer to what people think that it'll be. I stand to be corrected if I'm wrong.
You think it could go both ways then, 50-50? But you just edge it to Floyd slightly.
I'd say 70-30. You know,
Okay.
If Floyd uses all of his attributes, if he's able to implement all of his attributes, it should go 70-30. But having said that, I think that Pacquiao brings a lot to the dance too, because he's unpredictable in a lot of things that he does, and that makes it hard to train for him. It makes it hard for somebody to duplicate his style. It's hard to find somebody to duplicate Manny Pacquiao. You can't just get a southpaw. You got to get a energetic southpaw like Pacquiao.
Yeah.
As is the case with Vladimir Klitschko. You can get big guys, but how many big guys can emulate the style of Vladimir Klitschko?
That's very true.
So,
That's very
yes,
true.
it's very difficult for Pacquiao and Vladimir Klitschko. It's hard to find sparring partners that can emulate them.
Yeah. You see, that could be Bryant Jennings' biggest problem when he comes up against your guy, is preparing for Vlad. You know, because I've heard a lot of people say, or boxers say, that when they see Vlad in his civil garb clothes, he just looks like a normal guy. But you get in the ring, he just looks like a brick wall. Looks like a brick wall.
Yeah,
And
I remember when I first started training Eddie Chambers. Eddie Chambers told me, you know, seeing Vlad at the press conferences and stuff was one thing. He said, but when we got in the ring the night of the fight, and I looked across the ring, he was saying, well, damn. You know, he's like, damn, is this the same dude that I was in the press conference with? Eddie said that he wasn't alarmed, but he did look distinctively bigger than what he was at the press conferences.
yeah.
You know, when they called him to the center of the ring, Eddie said he was studying his anatomy, his girth, and he said, you know, this guy is a big, thick guy.
Yeah.
And style that Vladimir Klitschko boxes in is not an easy style to get to. He's become a master of the defense.
I've done a prediction video on the fight, and I couldn't see no way for Jennings to win the fight. But a lot of people came in the comment section and disagreed with me, and there's a few people for Americans who think Jennings is
all you have to do. A lot of people say all you have to do is this, and all you have to do is that, and all you have to do is this. And if you cut the ring down and push him back, the way Lamont Brewster did, you know, the way Ross Purity did. Ross Purity was in a good fight with Vladimir Klitschko, and he was getting his head handed to him, and Vladimir ran out of gas, plain and simple. But when people are making these analogies about how to fight Vladimir Klitschko, they never, ever hardly mention incoming. Incoming. Like they say in war, incoming. Okay. When they hear those missiles coming. You understand? When nobody makes any mention of Nobody makes any mention of incoming. They make it look like they're the only ones that's boxing. The guy that's in the box. Well, we're just going to come around. We're going to throw the overhand right now. But you got to watch out for incoming.
Yeah, that's right.
Incoming could make all of the difference. All of the difference. That incoming artillery can make all of the difference. When you get hit with those kind of shots, you know, you're sitting in the audience and you say, all you got to do is shake it off and come back. Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I remember doing the pads with Vladimir. One time we were in Spain, and he hit the pad, and the punch like twisted my wrist, and the punch slid through and hit me in my face.
Wow.
And yeah, it shook me up pretty bad. I had a headache for about 3 days, and I had a numbness in my cheek, in my eye, and the bone, the temple area of my head. I kept having a numbness, and I was concerned that he had maybe broke something, because I had this numbness. In the morning, it would be cold, and I would say, well, I'm wondering, did the guy break something in my face?
Yeah.
And that was with 20-ounce gloves on. So having said that, I think that people need to be a little more realistic in their assessment. This guy's got 53 knockouts, I believe it is, and 63 fights. He's been in there with some pretty good fighters. People say, well, who has he fought?
No, he's fought some good fighters.
Every generation has those kind of fighters. Well, who has he fought? Who has he fought? You know, you can't say that there. When you got a professional fighter, he's been in there with the who's who of the heavyweight division, and he stood up to him, and he's still the reigning champion. So you got to give a guy credit. And he's got all of the belts except the one.
Vladimir's a good fighter.
You don't do that unless you can fight. You don't do that without credentials. You don't go in there and do that what he's done without the credentials. That's nonsense.
Man, so look, man, he beat Pulev is mandatory, right? I'll dismiss the Lipai fight. I wasn't impressed with that. He beat Povetkin, who's on a serious knockout streak. A lot of people thought Pulev would give him a hard fight. I'm going to dismiss the Pianetta fight. I don't think he should have got a title shot. Marius Watt was undefeated, big guy. Tony Thompson, after the losses, you saw what he done to David Price, and
Sultan Ibragimov.
Yep. He was a champion, as I believe. More men shouldn't have been in the ring.
Vladimir Klitschko told me that Sultan Ibragimov was one of the hardest punches that he had ever faced.
Okay. He hit that hard? I remember when he fought Ray Austin and he floored Ray Austin and he got floored. I didn't think he hit that hard, though.
No, Sultan Ibragimov, he told me, he said that he can punch.
Okay.
Wow. Vladimir said that Sultan Ibragimov was a good puncher. He was a very good puncher, he told me.
Wow. Surprised, man.
Yeah, I'm shocked. I'm shocked as well. I'm shocked on that.
Sultan Ibragimov was a puncher.
He didn't hit hard in St. Peter, though.
Huh?
I don't think he hit hard in St. Peter. St. Peter had Vlad all over the place.
Yeah, everybody that boxed Sultan Ibragimov said that he's a little rock. Said that he can punch. Okay. Yeah, he's a big puncher.
Yeah. Glad's got a new. He's got some good names on his list, man.
Yes. He beat a good St. Peter. When the first fight when St. Peter floored him, that was a good St. Peter.
Yeah.
David Hay was he was a champion.
That's good. That's not a good name on his list.
Yeah. So that's unfair. That is unfair. And I'll hold my hand up. I have been guilty of criticizing, he's not boring and this, that. But no. Vlad is a good champion, man. And when I tell you what, man, the last performance, when I see him doing the Ali footwork and the leaping left hook, I was like, wow. I watched that fight about 3 times.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. His footwork. To be a big guy like that there, he's learned mobility. He's learned rhythm over the years that he's been with us. Meaning the camp that he has now under Emmanuel Stewart, myself, Jonathan Banks, and the other guys there. Everybody's been working on rhythm. You know, every morning, every afternoon, we listen to R&B.
Yeah.
We ain't listening to daffodil music. We listen to R&B.
Yeah.
You understand? And he gets in the ring and he dances to that music. James Brown and what have you, you know? And that helps. I really believe that it has helped him solidly with his movement, mobility over the years. You can see the development of his movement. And in the Pulev fight, it all came in place, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's like a Usyk. Almost like a Alexander Usyk type of thing. The movement.
Yeah. I work on that all the time with Usyk. We always talk about it, and I do the same thing. The rhythm. I get them to listen to the music, listen, and try to get in touch with the music. Try to get your movement in touch with the music, and it helps.
Yeah,
it helps. I honestly believe that it helps.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree.
So,
talking about, hey, go ahead.
Sorry. I just wanted to while we're on that subject. So, from your experience being around boxing and being a trainer, and I know you're not going to pull no punches, is it harder for European white fighters to get in touch with the rhythm you're looking for than black fighters, African Americans?
Yes, I believe. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's not something that whites seem to have been born with, the way blacks and Latinos.
Yeah,
they don't have that natural rhythm the way blacks and Latinos have. I think it's something in the nature of each individual, you know?
Yes.
So it's more difficult for them to adapt the rhythm. That's an open book. Everybody knows that.
Yes.
Even most whites know that. But when they do find that rhythm, in many cases, it's as good or better than blacks.
Yeah.
Once they find it.
Yeah. You see, that's what a lot of what I'm seeing the Soviet fighters are doing. Like, for instance, like Vlad, for one, you know, I know he was through Fritz and that guy, but when he went to Manny Stewart, then you saw the real Vlad. With Kovalev, when he went to Jackson and the guy from where Chris lives, North Carolina, what's his name again? Oh, I can't remember his name.
Don Turner.
Don Turner. Yeah. They go to the black trainers because I think they've got the natural ability, the hardness, the power. Then they come there for some refinement and rhythm, and then they become more complete fighters.
Well, I just had the manager of Kubrat Pulev contact me. You know, as you know, I've been training Marius Wack, and I've had the manager from Kubrat Pulev call me and ask me would I consider training him.
Okay.
Or at least coming in to work with him. And I told him, you know, my schedule was kind of busy now, but I would consider that. As I think that I'm a specialist when it comes to cruiserweights and heavyweights. I think that I'm a specialist. I can train any fighter, but I think my calling card would indicate that I'm best at cruiserweight and heavyweight. I think I'm a specialist when it comes to that. So yeah, I would do that there. He raised the issue. He says to me, that because if these guys are really going to learn how to harness and control a heavyweight title, they will have to come to America to learn the logistics of boxing. This is what they said. This is what the manager said. I didn't say it. He said it.
Yeah.
All right?
Oh, 100%. 100%. And
he said it. He said that. I didn't say it.
Yeah.
Ivalo Gustav, the one that managed Sam Peters, the one that managed so many heavyweights he's managed. You know,
it's good look, man. It's a good year.
Marius Wack, you got Marius Wack as well, and
Marius Wack, and you got Alonzo Usyk, and then they asked you to do Pulev as well. Wow.
I've trained Marius Wack for the last 5 weeks. He just went back to Poland yesterday. I'll be in Poland. I should be in Poland in a few days. They close out because he's going to fight March the 14th.
Okay.
One of the big problems is in the sport of boxing, you have so many young men that's so anxious to get in the driver's seat, and they don't know how to drive. They don't know where they're driving to because they haven't asked. And I pointed that out recently, and I said, listen, these young guys will get their chance, just not now. I mean, you have some guys that have been there for years and still don't know. In my opinion, I've been around the world. I've been around to a few countries in the world, and I've watched the trainers, and from my observation, even though those trainers have been around many years, they still don't know. They still don't know what they're doing. I don't have to call no names and I don't have to call no countries, but you just about know it. They don't know what they're doing. Many of them don't know what they're doing, and they're guessing. They're guessing with other people's careers, you know. So,
do you like, you know? I think I'm just gonna. I think Manny Pacquiao has developed a lot of bad habits with Freddie Roach, and that is ultimately probably going to cost him against Floyd. That's just my opinion.
Well, you know, like I said, you know, he has a lot of bad habits, but I don't know if those bad habits will work against him in the fight. Those bad habits is what might help him win the fight. Because if you look at it for what it is, Floyd Mayweather, Roy Jones, and Muhammad Ali had the worst habits that I've seen in most professional fighters, but they got away with it because they had speed. That's what helped them get away with it. They had speed.
I don't think Floyd. I think Floyd uses more timing than speed these days. So I think Floyd has got an older.
A lot of guys try to emulate Floyd and get their behinds whooped.
Yeah.
Lots of people try to emulate the stuff that Floyd does. Lots of people try to emulate the stuff that Roy Jones does. Lots of people try to emulate the stuff that Muhammad Ali does. But when they do it, they get their asses whooped.
Yeah, yeah. I remember one time watching this coach, and it was a video I had years back, and it was in the 80s, and he was saying all these guys are coming into the gym in the ring, and they're trying to fight like Ali with their hands down. And he said there's so many people who've got knocked out in gyms just because they just got walking around with their hands down and stuff like that. And people used to do that with Tyson as well, just try and come in aggressive, not throwing no jab, and they get themselves hurt. You know, like it's idol worship.
Muhammad Ali versus Mike Tyson, 22 years old apiece. Who wins and how?
Oh, this question is coming up frequently. I'm going for Ali. I'm always going to go for Ali.
Ali, man, you see what that guy did to him in the amateurs? He just danced around him and pepped him. What's that guy who got knocked out by Tyson later on as a pro? The one who beat him as amateur twice.
Cooper, Henry Cooper.
Tillman. Yeah,
Tillman.
Yeah, that's it. So for me, Ali, man, Ali.
I think that a lot of people overlook the tangibles in boxing. It's just like me coming to we're having a war, and you've got a handgun and a couple of grenades. I've got this M14 up there, and I've got 15 belts. You know what I'm saying? Who do you think's gonna win that? You got a couple of grenades and a handgun, and I've got a M14 up there, and I've got 15 belts. Each belt containing 2,000 bullets. Ali just had too much for Mike. Mike was a devastating puncher, but Ali took a devastating punch.
Yes. Yeah.
Ali possibly took the better punch than any heavyweight in the history of the sport.
Yes, he did.
You know?
That's what people don't realize. They keep talking about Mike's power. And I heard someone, and I went back and forth because they pit Mike versus Sonny Liston. And they said the most funniest thing, Mike would be too aggressive for Sonny Liston. I laughed. I said, no fighter in the history of the sport could be too aggressive for Sonny Liston. None.
No, you would play into Sonny's hands. Mike conceivably would have beat Sonny because he was faster. If they said he'd beat him with speed and combinations, I would say, yeah, Mike would win that fight. But not because, Mike was coming to him or he was too much coming for him. He was too much for him. Sonny could punch too, like a government mule.
Mike couldn't beat Sonny Liston. Right? Sonny's Liston reaches over 80 inches. How long? Mike's a 73-inch reach. Listen, Mike never faced a jab like that, right? And he's never faced someone trying to hurt him like that. Buster Douglas was boxing on. Sonny would crush Mike Tyson. That's my opinion. Because he's not moving away from Sonny. He's not moving away from him. Style would be totally wrong. style would be totally wrong for Sonny Liston. It wouldn't work.
No, Sonny Liston was a beast of a fighter. He had good punching power in both hands and didn't mind exchanging because he had a great chin. You know? You can look at the two fights with Cleveland Williams and that'll tell you the kind of Sonny Liston, the kind of man he was, you know? When you knocked him down, clipped him on the chin, the fight was just getting started. So I'm just saying, you know, a lot of these guys don't understand the ramifications of the sport. They'll look at something, you know, Mike would have been hitting Ali in the body, and that Joe Frazier beat Ali in the first fight. I said, but what you don't understand is that Muhammad Ali had been out of action for 4 years and 8 months. Or 3 years and 8 months, I believe it was. 3 years and 8 months. And then when he came out of retirement, he fought Jerry Quarry, Oscar Bonavena. These guys were in the top 5. Jerry Quarry, Oscar Bonavena, and Joe Frazier. And he did that in what, 5 months?
Yep. A lot of people don't study to get like. I mean, I class myself as a student. I've been watching a lot of Joe Frazier recently, and a lot of people say Mike Tyson would crush. And look, Mike could well maybe be. What they don't I watched Joe Frazier. People don't realize. Okay, against George Foreman it didn't show up, and against Ali, Joe could box on his back foot. Joe boxed Stander on his back foot and beat him up. And Jerry Quarry at times boxed him on his back foot. People don't realize these things. Right? These guys have more skills than what people are perceiving they have. You know?
But you see the scenario that I'm making. They say that Ali lost to Joe Frazier, but who stays out of boxing for 3 years and 8 months and comes back and fight Jerry Quarry, Oscar Bonavena, and then Joe Frazier for the heavyweight championship of the world in 5 months? Who does that?
Nobody.
That's unheard of. It's just nobody is paying attention to the greatness of that fighter.
Yeah.
He's Jerry Quarry, Oscar Bonavena, and Joe Frazier, and did all that in 5 months.
And he only lost the Ali fight on the knockdown.
Nowadays, it takes somebody 2 years to do what he did in 5 months.
Yeah, absolutely. It's true. People don't really talk about that because the hatred some people had for Ali, where they just wanted to see him get in there and this and that.
Can you imagine that? He fought Jerry Quarry, who at the time was rated number 4 in the world. He fought Oscar Bonavena. At the time, he's rated number 3 in the world, and then went right after Joe Frazier.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And the thing with the Frazier fight, it was only the knockdown what lost Ali the fight, really. It was the knockdown what lost him the fight. That was the decisive blow.
But they brought that fight up that he had lost to Joe Frazier when they was making the scenario about Mike Tyson. But I said Ali would have gotten Mike Tyson's head long before the fight. All right? He would have got Mike's head long before the fight. The fact that Ali that would have been boxing Mike would have landed some good bombs, but Ali would have took those bombs. What happened when you got around 9, 10, round 11, round 12? No. He would have wore Mike out. Mentally, he would have wore him out.
Yeah. I mean, Mike Tyson's already admitted this already, though. You know, he's already said that Ali would have beat him, so, you know, it's not like, everyone knows that. You know, Ali's good at these sort of things, and he took punches like from Foreman, Ron Lyle, all these things there. You know, these are all big punches. One of the most devastating boxing and punches in the heavyweight division, in boxing in general. So everything you're saying is, you know, it holds weight. But I was gonna say, just change subject briefly. So what's up with Alexander Usyk, and when we're gonna see him back in the ring?
Oh, we're gonna be back in the ring on April the 18th. April the 18th. 2015, we'll be back in the ring. We don't have an opponent yet, but he will make a title defense in Ukraine on the 15th. I was trying to get him on the Vladimir Klitschko's card, but
that would have been good.
But Vladimir told me that Usyk is a headliner himself. That's why he's standing in Ukraine.
Yeah, that's true. He's a headliner. Absolutely, yeah, he's a headliner. He could headline his own show. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, when you can bring in 30,000, 40,000 people to a stadium, then you're a headliner.
Yeah.
You know? He's the Olympic gold medalist, and the people recognize him for that, and so they come out to pay homage to him by being there. So he's got 30, 40,000 people there. So yeah, that's why they're making the move to keep him in the Ukraine for the time being.
Okay, well, he's got a number 3 ranking in the WBO right now, so he's on schedule for a Marco Huck fight.
That's going to be a tremendous fight. I got Usyk winning. I got Usyk winning today.
Yeah, I think he could beat him today.
I got money on that. I saw Marco Huck will be the favorite, but I think I'm going to put money down on Usyk, and on Usyk taking the throne like that.
Yeah, I think Usyk could beat him.
I think Usyk.
Well, they said that Johnny Nelson is going to beat Marco Huck.
Johnny knows that fight's not going to happen.
He's got an artificial hip. He needs to sit down, man.
Johnny Nelson don't want to fight.
It's time to sit down. When you got artificial, the boxing ring ain't no place for 50 or for whatever, big long layoffs. It's not like he's been active like Hopkins. He's got artificial hip. He needs to sit down.
He's been out there. He's been out there. He's got an artificial hip.
Yeah, he's got an artificial hip apparently. Yeah.
Oh man, look. He needs to get out of there because Marco Huck will mess around and kill that kid.
It's true, man.
He's been too active.
Yeah, he's been way too active. Too active, man.
I'm looking to put Usyk against Marco Huck by October of 2015. Hopefully, they'll make that fight. That would be the crowning effect of his career and my career. We can beat Marco Huck for the title.
Yeah, and I'll put him on the map because Marco Huck's considered as Hernandez is considered as the linear, but definitely everyone thinks Marco Huck is the number 1 guy in the division, and that'll be tremendous, man. He could outpoint him easily. I feel like he could outpoint him.
Yeah, I think he could stop him. I think he could stop him.
Yeah.
He'd outpoint him. Yeah, I think he can stop him. Of course I do. Mm-hmm. Because Usyk has the speed. He has the boxing skills to stop Marco Huck. I'm telling you, this guy's a better puncher than what people think he is. But I expect a tough battle for Marco Huck. I don't think he'll go quietly into the night. I'm looking for Usyk to beat him, though. If we can knock him out, that would be like the crowning effect of my entire career. I'll be in trainer's heaven off that one fight.
Yeah.
But I expect that Huck will come and put up a fierce defense for the title, but I still think that Usyk wins the fight.
Why would that be such a great moment? Is it because you've reared him from the start of his career, of his pro career as well?
Yeah, from the start, and plus we're fighting against a very valid champion. Huck is to be respected. It will not be an easy fight for us. It will not be an easy fight, and Huck will not go quietly into the night. He's going to fight. He's a champion. I expect nothing less.
Yes.
I expect nothing less, and I know that the fight is going to be tough. But I got confidence in this kid. I got a lot of confidence. He makes me want to train. He wakes me up, and he makes me want to train, And when I go in the gym with him, there's no exception, We go to work in that gym. And he makes me want at nighttime, I'm sad when we leave the gym. I'm sad because I look forward to working with him.
That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. Well, I hope he gets his title shot.
He makes me want to work. He gives me desires. I don't know how to describe it in words, but every time I walk in the gym and I see him there, I say, oh boy, we get ready to work. It's like a child with a new toy. Let's go to work. Because he's open to every suggestion, He has confidence in himself, And if I say, let's try to see, he says, yeah, let's try it.
Yeah.
He's not one of those kind of guys that's going to question you and ask you a whole lot of nonsense about the same thing over and over.
Yeah. He seems like he's got the desire, man. He's got the desire. He's definitely got the skills. So, because I haven't seen him in training with you, but from what I've seen in the ring, he does his footwork anyway. His footwork's really good. Hand speed's good.
And that's a major thing that's missing from the sport today. Two things: the art of feigning and the art of footwork. They're all separate entities. Boxing is one entity. Fainting is another entity, and footwork is another entity. There are 3 different entities. You know, they got a company in this country that said that DuPont, he said, we don't make the product, we just make the product better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
The name of the company here in this country is called DuPont. And the commercial, when the commercial comes on, it says, oh, we don't make the product, we just make the product better. And that's what I'm doing. I want to make the product better than it's ever been, you know, by adding on different subtleties. You know, I had a conversation night before last from 11 o'clock at night to 3:30 in the morning with Prince Nassim Hamed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow, man, that must have been good.
Yeah, we had a marathon conversation.
How did that come about?
He called me up, you know. He called me up. We very good friends, you know. We go a long way back.
Okay.
And he's in Dubai. And he was reminiscing. He told me that he's going to make a comeback. I said, oh, boy, here we go. He said, no, I'm serious. I'm going to make a comeback, and I'm going to fight Ricky Hatton in Wembley.
That's funny. Prince is funny, man.
Yeah, he said he's going to fight Ricky Hatton in Wembley. He said, I'm starting to come back now. He said, Bashir, my brother, I want you to come here to Dubai to train me. I'm going to be ready, man. Nobody going to beat me.
Prince.
So he said, right now, I'm a heavyweight. He said, but I'll be at 147 pounds. I feel strong there. So I'm going to start now, and in 15 months you can come to Dubai to train me for the Ricky Hatton fight in the Wembley Stadium.
Man.
Oh, it's funny, man.
I suppose once you've been to the summit, you always think you can climb it, even when, you know, you don't have the equipment no more. You always once you've been to the summit, I think them boxers always think they can return and climb it again, but there's no way back for him in the game.
Yeah, they you know, he said that he's going into the Hall of Fame this year.
Yeah, he is.
He is.
He's been inducted. Yeah, he's been inducted in the Hall of Fame, which is pretty good. Kevin Kelly should have been in at the same time. It's a shame Kevin Kelly was upset about that, but this is what it is, though, isn't it?
How long's he been retired?
Iran Barkley is not even in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Iran Barkley. Yeah, we were saying about that. Iran Barkley. His name.
This is a 3-division champion.
Yeah, it's a 3-division champion. People don't realize it.
His name's not even on the ballot.
And he's beaten Tommy Hearns twice in his prime.
Twice.
Yeah, he beat Tommy
in his prime. In his prime.
He beat Michael Nunn, in my opinion.
Yeah, I ain't gonna argue with that one no more.
Great fighter. Yes.
No one's beating that drum. You know, there's no Butch Reed. There's no one beating that drum no more. You know, most of the old timers, they've gone in it, like the Burt Sugars, and to complain. You know, the sports writers. We have Dan Raphael.
Give me a break, man. Them guys didn't throw no punches.
Nah.
These guys gave and took punches. They should be in there.
Yeah.
And this guy wasn't a fly-by-night guy. He was a very visible fighter.
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying is that there's no one beating the drum, and Iran Barkley, he's not no sports writer.
Iran Barkley, man, he just had a stellar, like, even if just for entertainment value. Forget all the freeweight championship. Just for entertainment, right? Barkley should be in there. There's just no doubt about that. Barkley was one of the staple fighters that held boxing together in the 80s and the 90s. There's just no doubt about it. Yeah.
Who's beating the campaign though? No one's doing the campaign about it, or we're talking about it, but we haven't made no videos demanding that Iran Barkley should be in the Hall of Fame, and this is what I'm saying.
Well, we'll do it. I'll section this part of the video off, and I'm
definitely gonna. If that's the case, then I'm gonna campaign with you. So,
yeah.
And you ready first?
I think the Hall of Fame here in the United States in Canastota, I think it's just a political appointment.
That's what it seems like now. Ever since they let Sylvester Stallone.
I mean, you got Al Bernstein. He's an announcer. He's in the Hall of Fame.
It's Sylvester Stallone.
I mean, give me a break here, man.
Yeah.
You got all these other people. All right, now, I'll bet they may be important people in the sport, but they're not the fighters.
No, they're not.
This thing is about the fighters. And without the fighters, there wouldn't be no Hall of Fame. So how do all these here coattailers get in the Hall of Fame before the fighters themselves? Eddie Mustafa Muhammad is not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. It's
Based
not right.
on the fight that he had with Michael Spinks alone, that one fight, the one fight that he had with Michael Spinks alone, screams for him to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
because
he should be in there.
he had to go through 15 rounds of hell and hot water in that fight. He had to make the weight the day of the fight. He had to make weight. All right, he had to lose 15 pounds or 12 pounds or something just to make the weight, and then go 15 rounds with a prime time Michael Spinks. Was spectacular, and he's not in the Hall of Fame. So you figure that out. You figure that out.
He was a good champion in his own right too, man. He was a good champion in his own right too. You know.
He was one of the last of the 15 rounders.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. One of the last of the 15 rounders. Yeah.
You gotta pay homage to that kind of stuff. You can't dismiss that kind of thing.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Well, this is look, we talking about it, so we're sharing the knowledge out there that people understand that these guys should be in there. But it's like you said, the Hall of Fame has turned into a political thing for the sports writers.
And he fought all comers as well. That's the thing.
After talking to Prince Nassim Hamed night before last on the phone, he raised an issue to me, and I'm going to listen to him because he made so much sense. I always felt that the best boxer that I had ever trained, because I trained him from the very beginning, through the very beginning, the first time he put on a pair of gloves, the first time he stood up and threw a jab, I trained him. The journeyman, Maurice Harris.
Yeah, I remember him. Heavyweight.
I trained him, and he had some good fights, and he had some fights that he didn't show up in, And when I say didn't show up, I didn't think that he did the best that he could in the fight. But he only had 7 amateur fights. He lost 5 of them. And so the Prince asked me about him. I said, the guy, he disappointed me. And the Prince said, I'm going to say something to you. Please don't be offended. He said, don't ever say that Maurice Harris disappointed you, because he gave the best that he had. He didn't have no amateur career. He turned pro at 16 years old, and he fought the who's who of boxing. And he went from nowhere with no amateur career. He went all the way to the #1 slot, not once but twice. He boxed Mike Tyson. He boxed Lennox Lewis as a sparring partner for years. He's got more than 300 rounds with both of those guys. And and I know what he did to those guys. He
beat Larry Holmes.
He beat Larry Holmes.
But he didn't get
the
decision.
He used to give Lennox so many problems in training. So many problems. And he used to give Mike Tyson equal problems. He said, so look at it like this here, that he didn't disappoint you. He said, you should be proud of what he did, what he was able to do with such limited background. So that's how I'm going to look at it now, that I should be proud of what he was able to do with Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson.
Well,
they gave him
you see what happened to Morris? What happened to him is that, he wasn't nurtured. He was just thrown into the wolves. He wasn't nurtured, I mean, if you look at how Anthony Joshua's career is going, he didn't fight some of the guys that, and he was Olympic champion. He didn't fight some of the guys that Morris fought.
I trained Harris originally, and then it was a 2-year spell where he just disappeared, didn't show back at the gym. And the next time I saw him, he had a 7-7 record. A 7-7 record, and he had turned pro at 16. And I think he fought Vaughn Bean maybe in his 7th or 8th fight. Yeah. And Vaughn Bean was like the #3 contender in the world when he fought him.
He fought Holyfield. Vaughn Bean lost a points decision to Holyfield for the title.
And Michael Moore.
Yeah.
So this guy Harris, the Prince told me, said, look, don't ever say that he disappointed you again. And I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that ever again. I think he's right. And I'm going to adapt that, that he disappointed me. I'm not going to say that no more. I'm going to say that, yeah, he made me proud because he was able to do those things. He was able to stand in with Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson in their primes and do a good job in those sparring camps. And nobody will ever know about that, but I know about it. The Prince pointed out the fact that you know about it, Bashir. You know. You was there. You saw it.
I tell you what, though, man. I tell you what. He suffered one of the worst, or not one of the best knockouts when he fought that Jefferson guy, where his gum shield shot out like a machine. That was that punch that Jefferson landed.
You know when Jefferson threw that punch, that Jefferson himself was knocked out.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. I saw that fight on Channel 5.
Harris had hit him with a right hand just before that.
Yeah, he was hurt just before.
Jefferson threw a Hail Mary left hook and caught him. Harris was trying to throw a left hook too.
Jefferson threw that punch on autopilot. He was hurt. When and it landed so flush and so it was like, wow. That's one of the best knockout. I'm so like the connection on that punch. I was like, wow. Man.
I saw Derek Jefferson in the Don King training camp in Orwell, Ohio. 2 years after that, he lost a fight to David Azan. He lost a fight to Vladimir Klitschko. And I saw him in the Don King training camp in Orwell, Ohio. We was there, and we was sitting there watching television late one night. We was watching a movie. And he looked at me and he said, man, Harris was the toughest fight I've ever had, and he destroyed my career. He said that fight was so tough, man, I just didn't want to fight after that, no more. He said he took it out of me. He told me Maurice Harris took it out of me. I didn't want to fight anymore. He said that was the toughest fight that I had ever had, bar none. He said that was the toughest fight. Wow. Because they were fighting that night. That was a brutal fight that night.
It was brutal. It was brutal.
It was a very brutal fight. If you go back and watch the fight, that was a very rugged, brutal fight.
It's one of the most brutal heavyweight fights ever, actually. It is brutal. It's pure.
Hey, for the fight fans listening, tell them the name of the fight.
Derek Jefferson versus Maurice Harris.
All right, I'm going to go put that on my watch, man. Derek Jefferson versus Maurice Harris. I'm going to go watch that.
Wow.
And you should put up there Derek Jefferson versus David Izon. Maurice Harris versus David Izon.
Oh, how did that one go?
Maurice Harris versus Sam Hampton. James Thunder.
I'm on it, man. I'm on it. I'll put him in my watch player right now, man.
Harris could fight. Harris was one of those guys that was right below the radar. Right below the radar.
He went the distance with Amir Mansour as well, didn't he? He went the distance with Mansour not too long ago, yeah.
That was late. That was very late in his career.
Yeah. And that showed me some pedigree there, because that brother there can punch. Mansour can punch very hard.
So, he can punch?
Hell yeah, he can punch.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But, that's just boxing, man.
Mansour has to go get his chance now because he's getting up there. He's got to make a move.
Yeah, he's got to start moving fast, though. Because he ain't getting no younger at all. How old is he? I mean, he must be in his 40s now.
He's 40. He's 40. He's at least 40.
Yeah.
I thought he was trying to make a fight with Eddie Chambers.
Oh, they've been speaking about. Now, I'd like to see that fight. I would love to see that fight.
I would love to see that fight. Look, a lot of people don't think that two Philly fighters should fight. I don't care where you from. I want to fight.
Yeah, hell yeah. So I'll just speak my mind, man.
Listen. You had Muhammad Ali and Jimmy Ellis, two guys from Louisville, Kentucky, that fought.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Because somebody from the same city. I don't care. I'm in the business of boxing, and I want to box the best guys that can make the best fights. And I would love to see Eddie Chambers and Mansour mix it up. I think that's a good matchup with the chemistries. I think that would be both of them as little guys. Oh man, that would be a great fight.
This is just my opinion, and I don't have I'm not in no camp, so I'm not trying to win no brownie points. When Eddie Chambers was joining the Furies, and he told me about it, me and Errol in the interview, I thought to myself, I said, let me just, I didn't want to ask him. I said, Eddie, where are you going to fit in this camp here? There's about 3 of the brothers there. Where are you going to fit? And he says, no, I'm going to get this opportunity. And I saw, like, his career's just ran into obscurity since he's went over there. It has.
Where else can it go? I mean, I believe that Peter Fury, I think he means well. But in reality, it's been hard enough to get Tyson to the #1 contendership.
Right.
Then you've got Huey. And so the likelihood of you getting Eddie there also, where else can it go? I'm just being real about it. I believe, like I said, I believe Peter means well. But I just don't think it's going to end well for Eddie Chambers. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Or at least I can't see it. Maybe Peter and company can make me see it. Maybe I'm wrong, But I thought the same thing. Where do you fit in? How you going to do this?
Yep.
I thought a few other things that I won't even mention on here, But I've seen this, I've seen this before. I saw that before. Where Hard Rock Green was in working with the Duval organization, and it seemed to me they had Hard Rock Green and Bobby Chaz.
Yeah.
And Bobby Chaz is the one that catapulted, and Hard Rock Green went nowhere.
Right. Yeah. James Hard Rock Green. I remember when he fought Mugabe. Do you remember the fight with Mugabe? You was there. Oh man, you've been some places I needed to be, man.
I was there for those training camps.
Wow.
Tommy Park was training for Bobby Chaz.
Wow.
All right. Georgie Bent was there training Hard Rock Green. Yeah. So I was there in New Jersey during that training period.
Wow.
I'm just trying to find out like I said, what has Eddie Chambers done? I'd like to see Eddie come out. I think that a fight with Mansour would be a really, really good shot, a spike in the oil for him.
Yes, it would. It would.
I think it's a good fight. I think the chemistry would be good. I think that would be a great fight, not just for the two of them, but for the boxing. That would be a great fight. And man, I'd get my popcorn and potatoes just early for that one.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see, that's boxer against puncher. That's the matchup. That's,
Yes. Boxer against puncher. I think that would be a great fight.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think it would be a great fight for the sport.
Me too. Well, let's hope Eddie can get something jumping off soon, man, because
he's got some family problems. That's why they didn't have that fight. Something came up that in his family or something like that. That's why they didn't have that fight, and it got called off because he was supposed to go against
Ustinov.
Yeah, that's right. And something happened to Eddie's thing, so he hasn't been training with the Furies and stuff like that. Something's happened over in Philly.
I heard a different story from that, Errol.
Yeah, what you hear?
No, I heard that Ustinov didn't want to. They wasn't offering Ustinov enough money.
Oh no, but but I heard maybe that's the case as well. But the fight got called off. Eddie hasn't been training for a while. I heard that he had the family problems.
Okay, all right.
He was talking.
I saw Eddie Chambers. I saw Eddie Chambers at the Bryant Jennings Vladimir Klitschko press conference.
Yeah.
We were there together at the press conference. That's the first time I had seen Eddie in a long time.
Mm.
I just think that Peter Fury and company means well. I just don't see how it's going to work. Maybe he's a magician. Maybe he can make something happen that I just can't see. But from my perspective, I don't see it. Like I said, I'm not on the inside of the Fury machine, so I don't see where Eddie fits in or how they're going to move him to the forefront of boxing. It remains to be seen, but I just don't see it. I think that it's an exercise and wasting time.
Look, they've got a mandatory guy waiting for his shot against Vlad. They've got him there. They've got a prospect, unbeaten Huey. They've got him to steer. And, that's enough work in itself. That is a whole lot of work. So that they were my concerns when I asked him, but, That's boxing though. We make decisions, and they either work out or they don't.
Yeah, right.
Well,
Yeah.
I think that is an exercise in wasting time, and he doesn't have that much time to waste. He needs to get busy.
Yeah.
He needs to get busy. He needs to get some profile fights. Where's Eddie ranked at? Is he in the top 10?
Nope. He doesn't have a ranking anywhere at heavyweight. No.
Okay. That's really good. How long he's been there? Over a year now, right?
Yeah, he's been there over a year. Yeah. He's been there over a year. No, he doesn't have a ranking. I mean, Steve Cunningham, he's got a ranking. He's just all he's got to do is beat that guy Glashkov, and he's back in the shake-up. See, that's all it takes, Couple of good wins, and you're back in there.
That's going to be a good fight.
You think?
Glashkov was in training camp with us with Vladimir Klitschko, and I can tell you that Stevie Cunningham and Glashkov, that's a great matchup. Another good fight for the sport of boxing. Both of those guys can fight.
Yeah, Steve can fight. He can fight.
And Glashkov. They both can fight. That's a great fight for the sport of boxing. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I'll tell you something else. I like the Tyson Fury Vladimir Klitschko. That's a great fight for the sport of boxing.
Mm-hmm.
I like that matchup. I like it. I like the chemistry.
I like it. I like it as well.
Yeah, I like it. I think that they each will bring out the best in each other. I love that matchup. And I love Tyson's mindset, the way he's approaching the fight, He's approaching the fight with the aura that I can be the champion. He's not there like a sacrificial lamb. He's there saying, I can win the fight. So I like that. It's intriguing, it's exciting. And that's what the sports is supposed to be about when you got two guys going at it, one saying I'm the champion, and the other guy, Tyson, is saying that I can beat you.
Yeah.
So it's very intriguing. It's exciting. I can't wait to see it.
Like Dillian White and Anthony Joshua have been going back and forward on Twitter. And I don't see why they couldn't fight this summer. I don't see why they couldn't fight.
Dillian and Anthony have been going back and forth?
Yeah, apparently Anthony Joshua said, yeah, these guys can fight a couple of journeymen and think they can beat Vladimir Klitschko. Good luck to them. And then Dillian replied to that and says, yeah, look, anytime you're ready, tell Eddie Hearn we can make the match. I've beat you once. And yeah, they're going back and forth. Yeah. Because Dillian's got 3 wins on the bounce, so Anthony had something to say. Anthony had something to say. So, yeah, I don't see why they couldn't fight SummerSlam.
Everybody, you know what? I'm sorry, but I fail to see. Everybody's saying, let's save it for this big fight. That could be a big fight down the road and stuff like that. Yeah, but what does the fan supposed to do? What are we supposed to bite on?
Yeah.
I'm a boxing trainer, but I'm a boxing fan too. I'm saying, you're going back to the days of Ali, Mike Weaver, Stan Ward, and there was so many guys that was top level guys and guys that was right below the top level guys, and they was always fighting each other.
Yeah.
Now we got to wait 15 years for a fight to be made.
And Stan Ward actually beat Weaver, didn't he?
I think that Dillian White can take 2 more good fights and fight Anthony Joshua. Let's make the fight now.
Well, look, the way I see it, Dillian wants to fight. Look, if Joshua's rated number 7 by the WBC, he's rated number 14 by the WBA, he's got a ranking he's number 15 IBF, he's rated everywhere. He's rated at number 10 WBO. So if he's so highly rated, he should have no problem fighting Dillian White.
He should, no. In fact, I think that it would give his career more credibility if he fought Dillian White.
Yep.
I don't want nobody standing around fighting, fighting tree branches and stuff. Let's fight Dillian White now.
Yeah. Look, it won't do them no harm. To have a 10-rounder, it wouldn't do them no harm.
No, it wouldn't do no harm. And let me tell you something. If that was Muhammad Ali would take the fight.
Yeah, he would.
I'll say it again. If that was Muhammad Ali and there was a Dillian White out there talking stuff on Twitter, Muhammad Ali would say, make the fight.
Yeah, he would.
Mind you, this is the same Muhammad Ali that came back and fought Jerry Quarry, Oscar Bonavena, and Joe Frazier in 5 months.
Yep. He would. Well, we know Ali. Yeah.
Yeah, he proved himself. So let's put the guns together now. I think that, you know what? There's no loser in that fight. There's no loser in that fight. Why? Because of the credibility that the loser and the winner get for taking the fight in the first place.
Yes.
There's no loser. If Billy goes out there, if Anthony goes out there, and either one of them lose in a good fight, the people will say, these guys belong.
Yeah.
We believe in these guys because those guys came out there and rolled the dice. But people say, well, economically, and everybody's an Al Heyman now, you know? An Al Heyman with no money. You understand? Al Heyman got money. He can sit around and sign us up on a fight. But most of the people about, no, the fight don't make sense now, and economically, this and that. And you ain't got a pot to piss in the window to throw out. Shut up. I said, let these two young men fight. Those are young men.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good fight.
Dillian White and Anthony Joshua are young men, man. What is it going to hurt? All you can do is give the sport of boxing and British boxing a big shot in the arm.
Yes.
It does, man. It puts them on the map, man. Absolutely.
It puts them on the map saying that we are the major players right here.
Yes.
If you want to be at the top level, you got to fight one of us. It can't hurt their careers.
I don't think it will.
They are so young. These guys are so young. That fight, you think that fight is going to hurt either one of them? Heck no, it's not going to hurt.
Nah.
So if they talking on Twitter and stuff, they put their gloves on and go at it.
I tell you what, I'm going down there. Hope if it's in Wembley or the outside the arena, I'm going there. I'll tell you that right now. I'm going down there. That's gonna be a good fight. Got my ticket.
Fight, I would limit it as soon as the fight is made.
Yeah.
You know, you guys secure me the tickets. I'll give you the money when I get there.
Yeah.
I'll take the time out and I'd fly in for that.
Oh! You heard it first. Mr. Machine gonna come down.
Oh, I would fly. I would definitely fly for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I would fly in for that fight.
It's worth it though, isn't it? You know, because you know it's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be.
It would be.
It's a good fight.
It would be.
It's a mouth-watering fight. It's a mouth-watering fight.
Eddie don't. You know, Dillian will take it in 2 minutes. You know, Eddie don't want it. It's Eddie. Eddie don't want it.
Doesn't want it, man. It's Eddie who doesn't want it.
Fight, man.
Why? Because he thinks Dillian might beat him?
Yeah, he knows. Yeah. And he got too much investment into Joshua, innit? That's why, man.
I think, man, there should be a new. It doesn't have to be an official rule, but there should be a common code amongst fans and fighters. If you say something about a fighter on Twitter, derogatory, and you're in that same weight class or maybe a weight class below or above, and the crowd start calling, I mean, like you get shamed into fighting, and if you don't, you know what I mean, like you should lose some brownie points.
Well, Joshua wants to fight him. Joshua wants to fight him. I don't think Eddie Hearn wants to fight. I don't think Joshua's going to be shying away from it. Joshua probably wants to fight, but whether Eddie make it, but it's up to Joshua to go to Thingy and say we want that fight, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Look, that's the thing, Errol. He has to go to Eddie and say, "Look, man, I really want to beat this guy up."
But that's not. He ain't like that. Mr. Bashir is Joshua like that?
No.
Yeah, exactly. So that's not going to happen. See,
well.
He's telling you straight out. He's not like that, innit?
I remember years ago.
Yeah.
That one of these guys was making noise about Ali. Archie Moore, I believe it was. Archie Moore or Cleveland Williams, one of the two. I think it was Cleveland Williams. Ali said he turned after one of the fights. He said to Angelo Dundee, he said, "Angelo, who is this big mouth guy, Cleveland Williams, running his mouth off about me, talking about what he'd do to me?" He said, "Make the fight. I want him." You understand? He said, "Not yet." He said, "I'm the boss." And I said, "Make the fight." Angelo Dundee said, "Yeah, you are the boss, and we will make the fight." Made the fight, and Ali knocked him out. So these guys are not aspiring to be great, because great fighters take charge of their careers. They may have a promoter say, "Listen, I need that guy right now, or I'm not going to be happy." What is the promoter going to do? "I need that fight right now because I want to beat him. I want to shut his mouth up because I'm not going to be happy until I get it." Get the fight. Who's the boss here? Yep. Eddie Hearn ain't got nothing without Joshua.
Yep.
Joshua could come in tomorrow morning and say, listen, I don't want to hit another man again in my life. And now I'm going to be a preacher. What do you think Eddie Hearn going to do? Eddie Hearn going to get on his knees and start shining shoes. Please, Mr. Joshua, don't go. I'll get the fight for you. So don't tell me that the fighter can't make the fight.
I like seeing it like either fight Dillian. I still want to see the Kevin Kingpin Johnson fight too.
That's the next fight coming up.
Is it?
Yeah, that's still happening.
Man, I see Kevin Johnson saying he's breaking his diet today in Facebook, and he's got the biggest burger. The burger had about 2 patties.
Oh yeah, I see that one.
About 4 different layers. So I hope he ain't eating too many of them because
he ain't taking it seriously. He's enjoying the money. That's Kevin Johnson right there, isn't it, Mr. Bashir?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he ain't serious.
I mean, I just don't, you see, I see that picture there, and okay, you see, when I talk, people say, oh, you take things too serious, it's probably just a one-off. You say it's a one-off, but I bet you any money I will never find a picture of Vlad eating that burger.
No.
Oh yeah, I've got the picture. I got the picture right now. I'm looking at that burger. Whoa!
Right, you see the burger, Errol?
Hey, Mr. Bashir, have you seen this picture?
No, send it to me.
I'm gonna send it to you right now, man. I'm gonna send it to you right now. Oh man.
See, the thing is, man, it's not that I take things serious, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, go on, Beats.
When you become a grown man, and even before, when you're young, look, you can have a laugh and a joke, but you have to be serious about. Look, if you want to mess up your life, there's no problem with you messing up your life, as long as you know that there is a way for you to succeed, and there are formulas that actually work. You're not going to find Vlad eating that burger. You're not going to find Bernard Hopkins eating that burger.
Let me tell you something. Go ahead, Beats. Go on. Sorry, don't.
Yeah, right. And there's a reason why they're successful, and it's
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason. And there's a reason why Kingpin's quite a talented guy.
They're heavyweights though. It's unlimited weight. It's unlimited. There's a fighting weight that he needs to get up to. So you know what I'm trying to say.
You don't need to eat that.
Beats is right.
Huh?
Beats is right.
Oh, Beats is right. Oh, okay, fair enough. Go ahead.
Yeah. It's the truth. It's the truth. There's a reason why you see one guy there and one guy there. Because one guy's taking it. Look, he doesn't need to eat that. He doesn't need to eat. And even if he was going to, don't put it on the camera at least. Doesn't need to be doing that. And there's a reason why guys are successful. Because they sacrifice. Got to sacrifice.
Mr. Bashir, I just sent the picture. Can you see it?
Okay.
Yeah, you don't eat that. I mean, when you're eating that now, when I hear that you're going to fight Joshua, I'm tipping Joshua.
Absolutely, man.
I'm tipping Joshua, man. Because look, he says that's I'm breaking it just to have the. You probably had about 3 or 4 of them, not in a day, but you probably. I mean, that's the way I see that.
Nah, I was just thinking because it's unlimited weight, heavyweight, and it's like there's a fighting weight, and but no, hey, listen, bro,
Look. There's a fighting weight, but there's still certain foods you eat and you don't, right?
Yeah.
If you're gonna eat like how much calories is that gonna take up, right? If that takes up 5,000 calories, that means he could have spread 5,000 calories of some really good vegetation, good meat, poultry and stuff. But no, he's put it all in this one sugary, salty, saturated fat. He's not taking it serious, man. Not taking it serious.
That's where he is in his career.
Listen, you're not going to find Golovkin eating that. Right?
No.
You're not going to find none of them guys eating that stuff there. Right?
No.
That's the way. You won't see Deontay Wilder eating it.
Oh, no. Come on. Don't be silly. No. Mr. Bashir, you see the pictures yet?
No, I see. I got them, but they won't come up.
I said them again. So maybe you.
Wait. I'm trying to get them to come up. Oh, I got it.
Yeah, he's having a good time. That burger's ridiculous, man. You can't even wow. I don't even know how that can get into your body. But he looks in good shape though. He looks in fairly good shape. This is before the burger. It looks okay. Maybe he's just giving himself a treat. He looks alright in shape though, Beats.
Well, you know what I mean. I'm just gonna say I'm not saying it's the be all and end, right? But that's not what you do as a pro athlete. That's not what you do.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
He said he won't even subscribe to that.
Yeah.
He said he's not even going to subscribe to that. You know.
He shouldn't. I mean, like, if he's fighting Joshua, I'm tipping Joshua. You know,
because of the burger or just in general.
The burger is an indication of attitude. And look, I'm not saying I'm 100% right. The burger is an indication of, to me, it could easily suggest a lack of not taking it serious enough. That's what I'm saying. Look at the burger. I mean, if it was just a regular burger, I'd say okay, fair. Look at it.
I can't even, I can't say nothing.
This is crazy. The burger's crazy.
I can't even defend it, that. I can't defend it. Mr. Bashir, you see the picture now? You have to, innit?
Yeah, I see the picture.
So it's funny, innit?
It's funny, man. He said would you say you can't even defend that shit?
No, I can't defend it, man. I can't say nothing.
That's what you call it, the Negro burger.
Right, exactly.
What are you aspiring to be in your life? A Negro?
Right. You see, when I see Vladdy and I see him in the restaurant.
I'm aspiring to be a Negro. This
Right.
is what I mean. This burger.
Exactly.
Crazy, man. Oh dear.
Exactly.
That's a trip. That's a trip to the hospital there in 2 years.
Yep.
Mr. Bashir's laughing as well. That burger. Can you see how many burgers though? Because it's not like he's got one. There's 3 burgers at the bottom, innit? And there's cheese and man, come on, man.
Look, that's a trip. That's a trip to the coronary doctor.
Yeah. So we call the coronary.
Yeah, say we got Kevin Johnson here. I don't know how we're gonna get him out of this one.
Yeah.
And he's making these jokes about bartender, about the bartender serving it.
They said, they won't start operating.
Hey, you know what? Just
wait for the doctor. So we waiting for the doctor. Said, what doctor you waiting for? We waiting for God, because that's what we're gonna need on this one.
I mean, what are in them patties, man? He's got
Hey, Mr. Bashir, you might change your mind now. Joshua might be the first one to stop him this time, boy. Joshua might put him square on his back this time, boy.
Joshua's a big part of it. I've seen some flaws. I see some flaws in the training techniques of Joshua. I see some things that needs to be corrected with Joshua right now before it goes too long, and then it'll be harder to correct. You understand? I see some flaws in his training techniques.
Yeah.
I see him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe some other trainers see him, but I see some flaws in how to foil him, Mm-hmm. And I'm saying that directly to Anthony Joshua. There's some things in his techniques that needs to be corrected in the infant stages before they become a problem later on.
Can you elaborate on that for the fact?
No, because I don't give information away. I sell it.
Okay, see, Mr. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you pull it out there. Maybe he'll get. Maybe he'll get this. Listen to this podcast.
Yeah. I hope he does. I like the young man.
See,
but just think about where would I be at? I'd probably be on the street somewhere if I kept giving information away.
Yeah.
I see some flaws. I see some things in his training techniques that are totally wrong.
Well,
and when he goes against better boxers, better fighters, he's gonna have to be called in to pay for those things.
I keep bringing this topic up, man, but what credentials does Tony Sims have to train him? I'm not sure what his credentials are. Who's his champion? He's had a few champions, hasn't he, Tony Sims? Has he had any work? Yeah, Darren Barker. Did he train Darren Barker?
Darren Barker, innit?
Okay.
Darren Barker, that's it, man. But at heavyweight, it's unproven, but Joshua's making the decisions, He's gone with Matchroom, He's gone to the Mr. Bashir, hey, listen. If they make a hiccup, then maybe they might want to change. I mean, I don't know, man. But Mr. Bashir's offering his. I don't know, Bashir. You got a lot on your plate anyway, Mr. Bashir.
So, that's a good question. So,
I'm moving towards another level in this thing. I'm going to be the trainer of the stars.
Yeah. So, if
you understand, I'm only going to take the elite guys, and I'm telling you, he's a good, solid investment. He's a good model of what a good fighter could become.
Yeah,
They have the being, they have the body, but the technique, some of the technique that he's using is totally wrong.
Okay, so I know you're not going to give no trade secrets away. So if I was Eddie Hearn and I said, look, Mr. Bashir, I need you to get this guy from A to J in 3 years. It's all yours. You'd be willing to take that job on and confident.
Of course I would.
Okay.
I'm playing the Olympic gold medalist at heavyweight. Why couldn't I do the same thing with the super heavyweight? And I'm not knocking the trainers that he have. I'm not doing that. I would never do that. What I'm saying is that the techniques that they're using for a big guy like that is totally wrong. Okay. Without expounding on what I'm talking about, I'm telling you the techniques is wrong, and he's going to have to pay for that going down the road if he keeps going like that.
Wow.
It's not going to come out too well like that if he keeps going like that.
Well, a few people have said that. A few people have said that with Tony Sims. A few people have said that. You're not the only one. But so far, they're undefeated. It's all chaos. So they're going to be saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix.
Yeah. Well, the only person I know has been saying... only person I've been saying...
What you just said doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, if it ain't broke...
If you hear wheels squeaking on your car...
Yeah.
Do you say if it ain't broke, don't fix it?
Yeah, but what about Alexander Usyk?
If you hear that wheel squeaking, general thinking is that something is about to go wrong. We need to fix that before it does.
Yeah, but I don't think they hear no wheel squeaking. Because you could say the same with Alexander Usyk. If it ain't broke, why fix it? But Vitaly would say it needs to be fixed. You see what I'm saying? So who knows? You know best, though.
No, Vitaly was saying that he's doing too much moving. Those are adjustments. Adjusting something and fixing something is two different things.
Oh yeah, good. Thank you for correction. That's
so I said to him that no, he's doing what I'm instructing him to do, not what you're instructing him to do. Mm-hmm. You see one thing and I see another thing. You've been a boxer. I was a boxer and a trainer before you was even born. So go sit down and be the man. You know what I'm saying? I've been a boxer. I've been in the sport of boxing. And I've been a trainer before you was even 5 years old. So what can you? I mean, what are you saying?
Yeah.
Go sit down and train and be the man for the Ukraine. Yeah.
All right. So let's go back to the Joshua then. So you're saying it's, in your opinion, it's squeaking?
Yeah, it's squeaking. And when you get a smart boxing there that know how to box, that know how to use boxing etiquette, it's going to come up. You're going to see it. It's going to be revealed in a big way. In
which performance has it been squeaking? Or are you talking about it hasn't been shown yet? And which writer do you, in your opinion, could reveal that? What you're talking about?
With a guy like Fury.
Okay, all right, that's more like it now. I'm getting the idea now. I know what you're talking. I kind of that would because
with a guy like Fury. Fury knows how to use his height. He has good speed to be a good man. He's a good boxer. And now he's come up with this new invention of switching lefty to right and stuff. And I don't care. Nobody said that can confuse a fighter.
Listen.
That can confuse a good fighter. Can confuse him.
People are making too much of all this switching, this, that. Look, when you're doing it against, against Noddy, or the last guy was, yeah, you can do that. He done it against Derek. Derek was a sliding fighter, in my opinion, right? I think people are making too much of that. Yeah, he can switch stance. Yeah, that's cool. Can he do it against Vlad? Can he do it? I'm not sure if he can do it against Joshua. I'm not sure if he can, against the big guy.
Yeah. I feel just what you're saying. I feel you. I feel exactly what you said, and you're probably right. But I'm saying that it could cause problems.
Okay, you say yeah.
He doesn't look like he's having a difficult time doing it. He's smooth with it, and I believe that he's working on it in the gym. And if he hones his skills in the gym, hey, it can cause a problem in a fight. If a guy gets comfortable doing that, it can cause a problem.
It's true, man. I think Fury's very good at fighting shorter fighters, man. I think that's it. When he fights guys his own height, he's in trouble. You can't go your whole career fighting shorter fighters. You know what I'm saying? He don't he don't you know, he should chest himself against a Marius Walk. You know, the Yusuf fight would have been good for him. He don't like he doesn't want to fight tall fighters.
No, he doesn't.
He's been fighting the whole way against short guys, and Beats is saying against shorter fighters you can take the liberties of switching stances. Kevin Johnson's the nearest height to him, and he switched again. But we know Kevin Johnson doesn't work. His work rate is not that high, so he's been allowed to do what he's been doing with you know, obviously he's doing what he's doing. But against a taller fighter, a Marius Walk will give him a hell lot of trouble.
Oh yeah.
To me, a Marius Walk is a good indication. If you want to fight the Klitschko, you fight a Marius Walk first.
Yes.
My opinion.
Yes.
Yeah, Marius Walker is a tough guy.
Yeah, he is.
I've been working with him. I've been working in the gym with him, in the same gym with him for the past 3-4 years, and now I'm to the point now where I'm in a case where I'm training him, and he's a big, strong, tough guy.
Oh.
He has a lot of things that needs correcting. You know.
Yeah. I don't want to bring up his past.
That's just a testimony to the people who's been training him.
Yeah.
But there's so many things that needs to be done with him, you know?
I don't want to bring up his past. Is his ban? He had a ban, didn't he? Is that all cleared up?
Yeah, the drug thing.
Yeah.
He did what?
He had the ban with the.
After the Klitschko fight, he got found for.
Because of the imbeciles that he was involved with.
Okay, he had some bad people around him. Or incompetent people.
Because they said it was anabolic steroids. Anabolic steroids cannot be taken orally. It has to be injected. It was anabolic steroids twice. It was said to be. I don't know. But it was said to be anabolic. Anabolic steroids cannot be taken orally. It has to be injected. So it's the people that he was around that was a party to that made it think it's all right. But like I said, I'm an old school guy, and I believe I'm a hard worker. I want hard work in the gym. I want to see the hard work. All that drugs and stuff, they're going to mess up the sport with that kind of stuff, you know?
So as far as you understand that, he's not taking any sort of steroid or anything, and, you know, no more or anything like that?
Not if I have anything to do with it, he won't.
I hope not, man, because, you like you said, you don't want to be involved in that. No, I
want to go on record saying that I don't believe in that nonsense. It's nonsense. It'll ruin the sport. And it might even cost somebody their life, you know, so I don't want a part of that. I don't want to be a part of that. I believe in the old-fashioned rule, hard work, diligence, focus. And speaking of let's get Joshua and Dillian. Let's go.
Let's get Joshua and Dillian on the road, man. You know what I mean?
Right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna write about that. I'm gonna write about that. I'm gonna call them out, both of them. Let's fight, man. I want some fights. I want Eddie Chambers and Mansoor, Dillian and Joshua. Come on, who else? Come on, we on the roll.
That's true, man. There's some good fights. But Steve, we haven't talked about Steve Cunningham, your guy. Steve Cunningham from down Philly. Going against what's the guy he's going against?
Lashkov. Yeah, we spoke about that.
Have you talked about it already?
Yeah.
Okay, my fault.
That fight is already made. That's our fight is in there.
Yeah. I'm saying, like, who do you reckon's going to win that fight?
Oh man, that's a pick 'em. That's a good fight. Those guys can fight. Both of those guys can fight. And both of those guys are coming to fight.
That's a good fight.
You know?
That's a good fight. I'm looking forward to that. Man.
I thought that Malik Scott beat Glasgow when they fought.
Yeah, he did beat him.
And they got a draw
Yeah.
out of that.
Yeah.
But I thought Malik Scott won that fight, so that, conceivably, Stevie can win this fight. Glasgow's a tough guy, but he hasn't seen a boxer like Stevie Cunningham.
Well, I don't rate Glashkov, really, to be honest with you. He's tough, but I don't think it, apparently he fought Derek Rossi, and I didn't see the fight, but Natty Turner said that he fought Derek Rossi. Did he say he won? I think he had Derek Rossi either winning or it was very close, So I'm not sure about Glashkov's skill, really. I'm not really sure. But, if Steve can't win this fight here, I don't know where there is left for him to go, to be honest, if he can't win this one here. So he's been around a long time. He's been champion at cruiser. What does he do? He's not going to become a bigger heavyweight. He's not going to become taller, stronger, or more powerful. He's going to be an old guy pitching in.
Well, it remains to be seen.
Absolutely.
But come on, let's keep going here. We got Eddie Chambers versus Mansoor. We got Dillian White versus Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
Let's get one more on the thing. Let's get one. Yeah, we need these fights. Those fights are saviors to boxing.
Yeah. Well, they was talking about what was they was talking about the other day. Well, it was a bit of a losers fight. Tarver versus Malik Scott. They was going at it on Twitter. It'd be a decent fight though. That'd be a decent fight. I
think it'll be a competitive fight.
Yeah, it'd be kind of competitive. It'd be competitive.
It'll be a competitive fight. Let's make the fight. That's another fight. Let's make the fight.
Yeah.
That's a good fight. You know, I mean, we need to get all this stuff out there. Let's get out there. You know, people need excitement.
Mike Perez versus Povetkin is good. Mike Perez versus Povetkin is really good.
Mike Perez versus Povetkin. Alexander Povetkin. Good fight.
That's a good fight, man.
Yeah.
That's a really good fight. Is the fight made?
No,
apparently it is.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Wow. That's a very good fight, you know. Who's Wilder fighting next in his thing?
I haven't heard yet.
I thought Wilder should be fighting against Povetkin. You know, I'd like to see that one.
That's a tough fight.
No, Wilder don't want that Povetkin fight.
Why is that? Why would you say that?
I don't think that Wilder is ready for a fight with Povetkin.
I think it's going to be perfect for him. Why'd you say that?
I think Povetkin is a little too rough for Wilder coming out the gate. I think Wilder needs another Stavern before he fights Povetkin.
See, I think that's a bit harsh because I reckon before Stavern went in with Wilder, I don't think people had Povetkin a level higher than Stavern. But I think in hindsight they're knocking him down a level now because Wilder beat him.
No, I think that Povetkin's a tougher fight than Stavern. I think Povetkin's a tougher fighter than a tougher fight for Deontay Wilder than Stavern was. I really believe that.
The guy who struggled against Marco Hook is a tougher fighter than Stavern.
Yeah, that was that night. Styles make fights. I'm looking at the Povetkin that fought Vladimir Klitschko, and that guy was much tougher than I anticipated that he would be. You know, I think that's Deontay Wilder. One thing I know about that fight, somebody would get knocked out. Somebody would get knocked out in that fight. Wilder versus Povetkin.
Well,
one of those.
It ain't gonna be Wilder. It ain't gonna be Wilder.
I don't think it'll be Wilder either, man. I'm rolling with Wilder, man.
I'm rolling with Wilder.
I got Wilder all the way against most of these dudes here, man, and against Tyson Fury.
Let me tell you something. Remember, Povetkin got hit hard from Vladimir Klitschko. He got up, and he stayed in the fight. And he got hit,
and he lost every round.
Yeah, but Povetkin looked like Klitschko looked like he turned off the gas, man. He looked like he wasn't trying to stop him. He wasn't like Pulev. He looked at kill Pulev, man. You know what I'm saying? He looked like he was alright with him. He looked like he was cool with him. He's fellow Russian. He didn't want to beat him up in front of. He was cool with him, man. Pulev, he hated that dude, man. That left hook was murder. You know, that left hook was from hell, man.
Oh God, that's funny. That's funny.
He didn't dig down in hell. He put that left hook.
Yeah, he did. You can see he wanted to put on a. I think he wants to put on a performance against Jennings as well. I think he wants to put Jennings in his place.
That left hook scared everyone, man. That left hook scared me, everyone else, and what's his name? Shannon Briz. Yeah. Shannon Briz ain't made one video since he seen that left hook.
It's true, though.
That left hook was frightening, and it was bouncing.
That's funny. You said Shannon ain't made one video.
Here's the last video he made. The last video I saw was a surfing board. He was doing a surfing board, right? And he came with a speedboat, laughing his head off. Let's go, champ. Where's the last video he made since then?
It's true.
Yes,
He's quite down with it.
See that? He said, hold a minute. Slow down, Tiger. Said, no, we don't need this. You don't need, you know that in the Rocky 2 fight, and he was talking about fighting Sylvester Stallone in his. That's the guy we don't need. We don't need that guy in our life. That's the guy. We don't need in our life no more, man. That's what you don't want no more. Klitschko's scary. That left hook Klitschko's got going on is frightening. And that's my take on it anyway.
That's some funny shit. That's funny.
I mean, saw everyone. You was there you was there. I saw you. You see how far in that left hook because I see 8R. It was.
I think though. I think the fight with Povetkin was a turning point for Vlad because he got. I criticised him heavily for
that was a very bad because he could have stopped him.
No, it wasn't because he didn't stop him. It was the whole. It was the holding. It was the holding. It wasn't because of that why I
he could have stopped him though.
Yeah, maybe, but that's not why I criticised him. It was the holding. It was the leaning and the back and the holding.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. All
like,
that stuff.
Too much. And I think the criticism because he got criticised heavy. I think he responded in kind after that fight. There.
Yeah. But the Pulev, he couldn't stand him. Remember Mr. Bashir? Remember Pulev's people were talking rubbish and they were talking some real greasy shit. You know what I mean? You know, you was happy about that knockout. You know. Mr. Bashir was laughing because they were talking some real reckless stuff, man.
Yeah, man.
Jennings people were kind of being cool, so maybe Klitschko might take it easy on Jennings. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, well, I think that Jennings is going to have to fight. I think Vladimir's going to try to get him out of there.
I think to me, Jennings is going to try and look to outpoint the champ. I don't think he's going to try.
No, I don't think outpoint is on. I think Jennings is going to go for the knockout.
He ain't a knockout artist, though, man.
Yeah, I think that he's going to raise his game in this fight, though.
He won't get in trouble, man. If he does that, he's going to get in trouble.
I think he's going to raise his game in this fight.
If he comes off the Klitschko, he's going to get himself in trouble. I thought he was going to try and do David Hay thing, move around the ring and let Klitschko chase him.
Please don't do the David Hay thing.
Yeah, that's what I think the strategy's going to be. He's going to try and let Klitschko chase him. Why would you come into the incoming missiles? I wouldn't do that.
He's got to. He's got no other choice, too.
No, he could do what David Hay, try and bring him into deep rounds maybe and make Klitschko slow down, right?
Yeah, well, that didn't work, did it?
Listen, guys, I got to go down to the airport to pick up a fighter. It's been nice talking with you. I'll reach out for you guys tomorrow evening, God willing, that I'm alive and well. We reach out tomorrow evening and we continue to see. Let's wrap. We came up with some good ideas. Some good ideas came up from this here. And contact my brother over there and tell him to lay up them dinosaur burgers there.
Yeah. The Fred Flintstone burgers, the Brontosaurus burgers.
I'm losing the morning from eating that shit.
Yeah, for real, man. All right, man.
All right, Mr. Bashir.
But one of the main things we want to do now is 2 fights: Eddie Chambers versus Mansour, and Joshua versus Dillian
White. Yep. That's what
let's start beating the drums for that. We want these fights. Boxing needs those fights.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely.
indeed.
All right, Mr. Bashir.
And we're throwing Malik Scott and Tarver for good measure.
Yeah.
Malik Scott. All right, man.
Okay, peace, brothers. I'll see y'all tomorrow, God willing.
Definitely, man. Take care, Mr.
Okay.
Take care.
All right, bye.